The search for love, a Stoic perspective. Who among us hasn't found themselves in that emotional labyrinth, frantically swiping, hoping for a match that makes us feel complete? Hope and disappointment drag us like waves upon the shore of our lives. And of course, the disillusionment, those moments when the love we chase seems to fade before our eyes, leaving us wondering if we are searching for something that will never arrive. Today, however, I want to tell you a different story, a wiser perspective on love, one that is not found in swiping screens or waiting for text messages, but within yourself, ready to be discovered. In the world of philosophy, particularly in Stoicism, I have found guidance that helped me understand why desperately pursuing love can be a path filled with obstacles and suffering. This philosophy values self-discipline, being authentic and unique in front of others, and self-reflection, organizing our thoughts and reflecting on our actions. Through these Stoic practices, I learned to look inward instead of seeking externally something to complete me or solve my self-esteem and confidence issues. By delving into myself, I discovered that love in its most authentic form is not found in another person but within oneself. It's natural to desire love and to feel loved in our lives, but we often fall for the illusion that love is the magical solution to all our problems, that finding it will make all our problems disappear. We convince ourselves that finding someone special will fill us with joy, free us from our worries, and grant us the peace we so deeply seek. We cling to the belief that love is the master key that will unlock the doors to a fulfilling life as dictated by social standards, constantly under the social pressure of having that special someone in your life. You see it in your friends, on TV, on social media, happy couple photos that project an appearance of happiness. The reality, however, is that even in loving relationships, challenges and struggles continue. Idealized expectations can lead to disappointment and disenchantment. We even find ourselves searching for love when we are already in a relationship. But as the Stoics teach us, it is not reality that disturbs us, but our opinions and expectations about reality. The illusion of love as a solution to our problems leads us to believe that someone else can be responsible for our happiness. But as Epictetus wisely said, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, rather, wish that what happens happen as it does, and you will be happy. Stoic wisdom reminds us that love is a valuable component in our life, but it is not the answer to all our dilemmas or conflicts. Lasting happiness comes from disciplining oneself, genuine authenticity, and self-reflection. Do not fall into the illusion that love is the solution. Instead, seek it in your personal development, emotional strength, and inner peace. Nearly all of us have experienced. At this seemingly important moment in our lives, our minds are often trapped in the past or worried about what may happen in the future. While at work, we dream about the upcoming weekend, or during our free time on a date, our minds wander to the notifications on our phone or to experiences that are already past. This constant escape from reality is a trap that prevents us from fully living in the present. Stoicism teaches us that one of the most valuable treasures we possess in our life is the present moment. Practicing living in the present is about returning to the here and now, where you are directing your attention, where life really happens. The following phrase emphasizes the importance of the present: the past no longer exists, the future is uncertain, but the present is a gift. As this phrase suggests, the present is an incredibly valuable gift, a gift that we often underestimate and fail to value properly. We cannot change the past and the future is uncertain, but the present, the here and now, is where we have the power to act and make decisions, where we can experience life fully and authentically. When we live in the present, we experience life more richly and deeply, food tastes better, laughter is more genuine, and moments become priceless. Practicing presence allows us to savor every moment of our life, even the small pleasures. On the other hand, when our minds wander, we miss those precious moments. Anxiety about the future or rumination over the past robs us of present joy. The present is where we find peace and serenity. The importance of living in the present is manifested in our relationships, especially in the search for authentic love. How can we build meaningful connections if our minds are trapped elsewhere? From a male perspective, living in the present means being strong in the face of what happens daily in your life and being authentic in every interaction you have. It's not about acting but about being real and sincere in your relationships. In summary, the importance of living in the present is undeniable as you advance in your quest for love. Remember that happiness is not found in the past or the future, but in the richness of now. Have you ever felt trapped in a repetitive dynamic in your relationships? Perhaps the following questions have crossed your mind: why can't I find love? Why did my relationship end if I did? Join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today. In this journey of self-discovery, I want to talk to you about the value of personal growth and how it can transform your perspective on the search for love. Too often, we seek love from a position of need, believing that someone else will complete our lives. But as the Stoics remind us, no slave is free until they free themselves. The Stoics remind us that the path of personal growth is a path of strength, of facing obstacles and overcoming them. As Seneca said, there is no favorable wind for the sailor who does not know to which port he is heading. The value of personal growth manifests when we face our fears, dare to take risks, and choose the path of greater difficulty. Through personal growth, we have the ability to overcome our fears. Embracing our imperfections and building relationships based on authenticity and effective communication is a profound journey. Now, let's discuss a powerful tool that can completely transform your approach in the search for love: self-reflection. In the journey toward authentic love, looking inward is crucial. Self-reflection isn't just about sitting in silence and clearing your mind, it's a deep dive into your thoughts and emotions, a conscious introspection that allows you to explore your inner self for answers. By examining your thoughts and emotions, you can identify harmful patterns that recur in your relationships. Do you find yourself constantly seeking others' approval, or do you avoid conflict at all costs? Self-reflection allows you to confront these damaging patterns. You can delve into the roots of your fears and concerns, understanding where they come from and why they keep arising. But here lies the magic of self-reflection: it not only identifies problems but also equips you with tools for change. You can work on your weaknesses, cultivate your virtues, and improve your relationships. Self-reflection serves as a compass guiding you toward healthier relationships. As you get to know yourself better, you become more aware of what you truly desire in a partner and what you are willing to contribute to a relationship. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, put your heart into doing the right work, then enjoy the peace that follows. Self-reflection is not just work, it is the pathway to inner peace and more authentic relationships. Being a man from a Stoic perspective means embracing the value of personal growth and developing indestructible discipline and resilience. It also teaches us that being a complete man involves a constant commitment to improving and growing, not seeking in someone else what we already have within ourselves. When we seek love from a place of inner strength and self-acceptance, we create more solid and meaningful relationships. The need to be accepted, loved, and validated is a reality in our society, driven by social media, entertainment, and external expectations. We are taught that to be loved, we must first meet certain standards of beauty, behave in certain ways, and even dress a certain way to be accepted. We must be successful and very popular, or else we'll end up alone and empty. Social expectations lead us to tirelessly pursue love, often losing sight of something crucial within us: self-acceptance. From a Stoic perspective, self-acceptance becomes the cornerstone of inner tranquility. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once wisely expressed, life is short, and we all carry what we carry equally. The one who possesses the most is the one who is most content with what they have. This reflection brings us to a crucial point in this discussion. Often, our desperate search for love and external acceptance moves us away from tranquility. It compels us to constantly compare ourselves to others, chase unattainable standards, and fills us with anxiety about not being good enough. According to the Stoics, self-acceptance is the act of embracing who we are, with all our virtues and flaws. It's about freeing ourselves from the need for external validation and finding peace in self-acceptance. In a world obsessed with comparison and the constant pursuit of more, Stoic philosophy invites us to find richness in accepting what we already have. Self-acceptance allows us to savor life to its fullest. Returning to Seneca's quote, we find a profound reflection on the search for love. We often forget the importance of being content with who we are at this moment. This phrase reminds us that true wealth is not found in being validated and accepted by others or in material things, but in being content with our own authenticity and living in harmony with ourselves. By accepting ourselves, we release the emotional burden of external validation. This is the essence of why you shouldn't chase love but seek self-acceptance before seeking external acceptance. Self-acceptance is not a denial of personal improvement, but a solid foundation for it. As we embrace our imperfections, we realize that authentic love does not require us to be perfect. Self-acceptance allows us to be vulnerable, communicate genuinely, and build meaningful relationships based on authenticity. As Marcus Aurelius said, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Independence is an essential value that has been part of Stoic reflections since time immemorial. Today, I want to delve deeper into why maintaining your independence is a fundamental piece in the search for authentic love. Often in our quest for love, we can fall into the trap of losing our independence, focusing so much on finding someone to complete us that we forget what makes us unique. From a Stoic perspective, this emotional dependency is a behavior pattern we should avoid. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you must be willing to change your habits if you see yourself as someone who is dependent. Independence is a reflection of your self-esteem and self-acceptance. When you commit to your passions, projects, and personal growth, you become a more attractive person to potential partners. Independence does not mean you will isolate from everyone, but rather find a balance. You can enjoy the company of others without losing your emotional autonomy. Independence is an act of self-love and respect towards yourself. In the search for love, maintaining your independence is key. If you are a complete person by yourself, you do not seek in love a solution to your insecurities. From a Stoic and masculine perspective, independence is a sign of strength and self-control. As Seneca said, true freedom is independence of the mind. This phrase invites us to reflect deeply. What does it mean to have an independent mind in the Stoic context? It involves freeing ourselves from the slavery of passions, desires, and attachments. Independence of mind means not allowing emotions and thoughts to dominate our will. As Stoics, we work to free ourselves from emotional slavery, to be masters of our minds, and ultimately, of our lives. To maintain emotional independence from a Stoic perspective, here are two fundamental practices in our search for love. 1. Meditation. Meditation becomes a powerful tool to maintain emotional independence from a Stoic and masculine perspective. It helps us find balance amid the tumultuous waters of relationships. Meditation trains us to be present in the moment, to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. As Seneca advised, meditation teaches us to manage our emotions and find serenity amid chaos. The Stoics believe that meditation allows us to recognize that our emotional reactions are automatic responses and that we have the power to choose how to respond. For Stoic men, this provides a deep sense of control over our emotions and actions. 2. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is another crucial practice in the search for authentic love from a Stoic perspective. It allows us to maintain emotional independence by being fully present in our relationships. Mindfulness involves listening actively, being present in conversations, and being aware of our emotional reactions. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that control over ourselves is achieved through mindfulness. This practice allows us to recognize our automatic reactions, and instead of reacting impulsively, make conscious decisions. Mindfulness gives us the power to build relationships based on authenticity and mutual understanding. These two practices, meditation and mindfulness, are fundamental for maintaining emotional independence and not chasing love, which ultimately will cause more pain if pursued from a place of neediness. From a Stoic and masculine perspective, these practices equip us with the tools to embrace self-acceptance, cultivate internal peace, and establish genuine, enduring relationships. These practices provide us with the self-control, serenity, and mental clarity necessary to face emotional challenges and make conscious decisions in our relationships. In summary, the importance of maintaining your independence should not be underestimated. You shouldn't pursue love to fill your voids. Instead, you should find someone who values your independence and complements your life. Communication is the cornerstone of our relationships. However, we often find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of misunderstandings, pointless arguments, and meaningless words. Words can build or destroy, and here, from a wiser, Stoic perspective, we will explore why effective communication is so crucial for improving our relationships. The Stoics teach us that effective communication is an art. It involves listening more than speaking, understanding more than imposing opinions. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. From a Stoic perspective, effective communication involves being authentic with what we say and being honest when we speak or give an opinion. It's not about saying what others want to hear, but about expressing your thoughts and feelings in a clear and respectful manner. Patience is a fundamental pillar from a Stoic perspective in the search for authentic love. The Stoics teach us that love is not something we can force or rush. Instead of desperately seeking love, we practice patience, knowing that time is an ally. Stoic patience involves resisting the temptation of impatience, frustration, or anxiety. Instead of seeing time as an enemy, we embrace it as a teacher from which to cultivate wisdom. From a Stoic perspective, patience also allows us to develop the inner strength to face loneliness, rejection, and uncertainty in the search for love. Stoic patience reminds us that authentic love is a process not governed by a timetable. As Marcus Aurelius said, nothing happens to any man that he is not formed by nature to bear. This development of the Stoic pillars of patience and empathy highlights their importance in how they can enrich our relationships from a philosophical perspective. Effective communication strengthens our relationships and brings us closer to authentic love. It allows us to be vulnerable and share our desires, fears, and dreams. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious. From a Stoic perspective, this phrase invites us to reflect on why pursuing love and approval from others can cause even more pain. In our eagerness to please everyone, we often end up sacrificing our authenticity and our own needs. The Stoics teach us that instead of seeking external acceptance, we should focus on building our inner strength and finding love within ourselves. Pursuing love incessantly can lead to relationships based on unrealistic expectations and often causes us to neglect our own identity. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control the emotions, decisions, and actions of other people, but we can control how we respond to them. The desperate search for love can become a cycle of disappointments, as trying to please everyone often causes us to lose sight of what is truly important to us. Instead, Stoicism calls us to focus on our actions, to be the best version of ourselves, and to cultivate relationships based on sincerity and mutual respect. By understanding that external acceptance is not the key to happiness, we can free ourselves from the need to pursue love anxiously. Instead, we find inner peace and serenity that allows us to appreciate relationships in their broader context. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true emotional wealth comes from authenticity, patience, and understanding both our own needs and those of others. Instead of trying to please everyone in the pursuit of love, we should focus on pleasing ourselves, being authentic, and building relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, this is the key to discovering an authentic and meaningful love that blossoms from within and is not desperately sought externally. In today's world, it's common to see people trying to fit into predefined societal roles, acting artificially, and hiding their true selves behind a social mask. But what happens when we free ourselves from that mask and embrace authenticity? The Stoics teach us that authenticity is a path to true freedom. In the words of Seneca, no man is free who is not master of himself. True freedom lies in being oneself without fear of judgment. Authenticity allows us to free ourselves from the burden of pleasing others and to live according to our principles. In a society that often pushes us to pursue love through external approval, authenticity becomes a beacon of light we can guide ourselves by. From the Stoic perspective, authenticity leads to deeper and more meaningful relationships. When we are authentic, we attract people who value us for our true essence, not a fictitious version of ourselves. Authenticity also gives us the strength to face challenges with dignity. As Marcus Aurelius said, nothing has such power to broaden the mind as the ability to investigate systematically and truly all that comes under thy observation in life. From the Stoic perspective, self-knowledge begins with daily reflection. Taking time to reflect on our actions, reactions, and emotions allows us to identify patterns and understand what drives us. A fundamental part of self-knowledge is exploring our values. The Stoics believed that virtue was the highest value, and each person needed to define what it meant for them. Reflecting on our values guides us toward decisions more aligned with our authenticity. Self-knowledge also involves identifying our automatic reactions in situations of conflict or stress. It's easy to fall into habitual behavior patterns. Introspection allows us to recognize these reactions and choose more conscious and aligned responses. A useful exercise from the Stoic perspective is maintaining a gratitude journal. Noting what we value and what makes us authentic connects us with our true essence and helps us appreciate our unique qualities. Self-knowledge is not always a solitary path. Seeking the advice of a Stoic mentor or a therapist can provide invaluable guidance on this journey of self-discovery. By embracing self-knowledge, we become more confident in ourselves and more authentic in our actions and relationships. As Epictetus affirmed, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If this video has inspired you to seek a wiser and more meaningful love, we invite you to take the next step. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the notification bell, and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're not sure what to comment, just write "end" so I'll know you made it here. Join our community and let's continue exploring Stoicism together. Until next time.